What's up, y'all? It's me, Vince Ryder, and welcome back to VinzTalk, where I talk about news, talk about gaming, talk about whatever. And my attempts of making these short because sometimes they're just too damn long, and I haven't had time to record anything today because noises are just through the roof. Somebody like my roommate is using the freaking sink every single minute, and thankfully she left. So pretty much this is a good amount of time to actually at least record this podcast, VinzTalk, or whatever you may call it. Anyways, let's get into the news and get into some. I put down updates, but there's no updates of anything. I do notice that my channel is not really gaining the amount of subs that it needs to or anything, but yeah, things have been slow in the channel. Business been slow, that's just how it is. And also, yeah, let's just let's get into the channel and pretty much shout out to everyone that has been supporting the Discord. Thank you for following the Discord. It's been silent in the Discord. I kind of just wish that I put something or hire someone to actually add some entertainment in the Discord. But yeah, it's been kind of silent. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, let's get into some news, and it's just only one. This whole podcast thing, just like the last time, is going to be more gaming showcases, just more gaming news in general. Because let me tell you, it's E3 month, week, or whatever it is. I don't know. E3 is not with us. I mean, next year, I believe there's going to be E3 from what I heard. But for this particular month, it's just been batches of gaming news. Like, it's just insane. Pretty much in the news, which is the only news that is not related to gaming. And also I'm going to be talking about other stuff like the whole mermaid controversy and whatever. Just the amount of dislikes that video got. Wow. And also, yeah, the whole boyfriends controversy, which I don't even know if I should add it up. But I have been watching these videos and I kind of been hesitant to actually ever watch any reviews or I mean not any basically videos backlashing about boyfriends and its creator, which is Ray Refrain Bro. And it seems like there's this whole controversy stirring up of this webtoon or even webtoon in general or something. Like, I don't know what's going on with the voices here and there. I don't know if I'm going to be one of those people who's like, oh, I don't see the controversy or anything, stuff like that. And I don't know. I look at the video. I pretty much heard some things where I'm like, oh, well, this is surprising. I did not know about this thing that happened between this creator, which I'm not going to say, but that's just something I just want to get out. Anyways, and also that freaking, like, you know what? I'm just gonna get the animation news out of the way because the whole gaming thing is too much, and I'm just gonna end it there with the gaming news because you know what? Why? What? You guys don't deserve a long podcast. You don't deserve a long Vince talk of me rambling. Some of you came for the news. Listen, I can only imagine the sort of people watching this or hearing me because this is usually audio based of you listening to the news, my opinions, or you, because that's what I want to do. This is heavily inspired by Review Tech USA, by Tipster, the Quarterly Nerdrotic. Pretty much I just love talking about my opinions on certain medias and addressing them, and also just talking about, like, what's going on. And pretty much the same thing that I'm going to follow up with when it comes down to talking about the mermaid movie, even though I barely care much about it because that's not really much of my childhood. But man, the backlash is just real. Is it like, I don't know how many, like, certain million, like, is it 2 million? Last time I checked, 2 million. And this was like, I believe, a few days ago. 2 million dislikes of the freaking mermaid trailer. The new mermaid, that D23 was good. And was going to talk about it when I was, dabbling here and there with the Disney showcase and whatever. And pretty much here I am talking about it now because, man, the backlash is unreal. It is insane. Just the amount of stuff that is going down of the news phase of surrounding when it comes down. And listen, here's my opinion about the whole thing, and it's just gonna be real quick. People don't like it when you replace their characters, especially when you race swap them. It doesn't matter who they are or whatever. Listen, race swapping somebody is literally not who they are because their skin color and their ethnicity is something that is also based on, like, who they are, especially based on who I am as a person. I believe if I was, like, if I was black, I probably would sound the same, if I gotta be honest. But if anyone else that pretty much, like, other than that, names and also who they are, what they look like, and their voice, especially this voice. His voice is everything. If it was replaced, you guys wouldn't like it. If there was somebody else, doesn't matter if it was a girl, boy, or but non-binary, you wouldn't like it because, well, that's not Vince. There's only one Vince in the world. It's me, baby. What's up? But yeah, this whole controversy surrounding, Haley, which is, it's kind of weird because isn't the mermaid like set in the Caribbean? Like it would match, but the thing is that's not what the beginning of this story is based on. When it comes down to the Little Mermaid, it's not based on like the main character ever being black in the first place. It was like she was white and also a Danish tail or something like that. And I figure like I thought it was gonna be like a little backlash here and there. I did not know it was gonna be this bad. And when it comes down to race swapping, which is, race swapping is never good at any animation or anything. You're just basically replacing the character, replacing everything with the story or what the original stands for. And disrespecting the original is always a disrespect for anything. Like imagine if the whole entire boyfriends, you just replace them, and I'm putting boyfriends as an example because most of you followed the whole boyfriends thing. And but pretty much if what if the boyfriends was replaced by a bunch of four straight dudes? It would not look good. It would not look good. Even if you change everything, the boyfriends itself, like if you change, goth into, and like what, a Latino person, you change prep to a a black person and stuff like that. It didn't start like that. And pretty much, I believe the characters all four are Asian, I believe. And also it's just like you can't change characters when it comes down to their race, their who they are, their gender, or like come on, there's a reason why they started out that way. And I believe that's what the backlash is coming from when it comes down to the mermaid. You change the original, you're messing with a whole entire like audience that will not stand for that. And that's been kind of happening in an example in Hollywood for years, basically. And there's certain stories that did very well when it comes down, to swapping their race or anything. I can't give any examples, I don't know what, but I did hear and also seen some, like I think Anne and also some stuff that Idris Elba was part of. And like they replaced the person, the race or whatever, and it did very well. So I think this whole backlash is gonna flush very quickly when the movie is good when it comes. But when I saw the movie and it didn't look right, it was dark, like very dark. I can hardly see any sunlight, and also the costume and everything that she was wearing, like yeah, I wasn't feeling it. But the music was beautiful, that's for sure. So I guess I'm relying to that. When it comes to Disney, I always love the music that they put out, but at the same time, the amount of backlash that the Mermaid movie is getting, the trailer, even though it hasn't come out, is insane. And people like to justify like what is right, what is wrong. The majority are basically disagreeing with anybody saying that it's good, because let me tell you, it is bad. It is bad. Like and I'm an optimistic person. If I ever review the movie, I probably might say it's good, and there's going to be a million other people that might say it's bad. That's the same thing what happened with the Eternals, with Artemis Faust. I like those movies, but man, no one likes them. Nobody likes those movies. They were bad. Anyways, yeah, that's why you don't see me reviewing Morbius or whatever. Anyways, let's get into these talks. Let's just have a discussion about what's going on in gaming or whatever. But before that, let's talk about this random news happening with the Neo drop. Now, pretty much the Neo drop, and as you see here, you see my Drizzy here, Drake in the bill, and yeah, it just seems like he's got a lot of backlash because he was trying to roast the Neo drop by saying you're a decent one for existing or whatever, and you married a black girl, which what does that have to do with anything? By the way, Neo drop is a music reviewer that is probably one of the biggest, being Anthony Fantano. And I oftentimes try to joke around me being like, "Oh, I'm the busiest LGBT plus nerd in in the internet or whatever," because the amount of content I make, and some of it is highly could be inspired by Anthony Fantano with his reviews. Even though I don't review music, I don't review much or of anything, but when it comes down to my inspiration of his content, it's kind of like almost similar in ways. And also both of us are Italian, wears glasses, that's also another thing. And also like it seems like he was trying to joke around with this video making about Drake, and actually Drake kind of watches his videos because admits it to it by using the whole decent one, or the number scale thing that Anthony Fantano uses. And Anthony Fantano always gives like ratings of certain music when it comes down to his ranking from 1 to 10, from decent to light to wow to I don't know actually. I haven't watched a lot of his music reviews because that's just not my cup of tea. But at the same time, I saw this video that he made in his other channel talking about Drake calling him out, or the situation of it basically, where Drake tried to just basically trying to burn, trying to roast the new drop, and it didn't work. It was pretty bad. So that's basically what I seen from that. It just didn't look right. And pretty much, you know what? It seems funny as well because man, Drake looked bad at this one. It just happens to be around this kind of situation. Also, especially roasting Anthony Fantano's girlfriend, which is kind of hilarious. Like, come on, that's just weak roast. The amount of girlfriends that Drake has dated, come on, don't get anyone started about that. Let me tell you. But it just that's not my business to be part of or anything. But I just want to dabble into it because it's just hilarious that Drake thought he like, oh, I got him, and especially how he's literally taking this whole thing seriously because of a music reviewer, and it's just I don't know, it just didn't look right. And I just had to bring some music news into this. I'm a bit of a fan of Drake, his music, from time to time I listen to, where it's God Plan collaborating with Future, and also his other tracks and stuff, even his newest tracks where a lot of people hate on because it's so soft. I still kind of dig it. I still, get listen to Drake time after time. Even though that other rappers kind of replaced that, like Trill or, Chasky, and also like that song with Chasky and Yellow Wolf. That was dope. That was a dope track, and also J Cole time after time. But man, Drake is not looking good in these news. Like it just seems like other news relating to whatever whatever I put out is usually never about rapping in general, never about rappers or in the music industry. But I have to put something in at least to mix it up, since there's really not much, and that's the only thing I'm going to talk about. Since we're out of the non-gaming stuff out of the way, and hopefully stuff that I don't get canceled for. Let's talk about some gaming. There's a lot of gaming showcases, and pretty much specifically going on with the whole thing about the Genshin Impact kind of deal. Yeah, there's a new Genshin Impact anime coming soon. If anyone's a fan of Genshin Impact, listen, Genshin Impact needs to downgrade their whole gigs and whatever. And also, when is freaking Genshin Impact coming to Switch? When is that gonna happen? I don't know. And also has the whole series about the King Desert and the Tree Mount. Listen, the Genshin Impact trailer for the new version, whatever what it is, has what 2 million, 3 million views already. So I have to talk about this to actually gain the Genshin Impact audience to really get into here. But there's nothing in this picture is related to Genshin Impact. Also, I'm a whale. That's just that's different. And yeah, pretty much. I saw the characters. There's been some backlash about, and yeah, I'm gonna talk about Raze. Oh, Vince, talk about Raze. Oh man, someone ready to cancel him. I feel like for the characters, like come on, they're Middle Eastern. Can you just at least make them a little darker? I'm just saying. I guarantee you there's gonna be some backlash about the characters in the Genshin Impact when it comes down to the desert or the Saharan kind of the level that they put out. That's definitely inspired by Arab or Persian kind of mythology, or basically looks in some ways. The style is very Egyptian, and also based in the Mediterranean in some ways, or India, or it really does sort of give me that feel. But in that case, can you make them a bit darker? I know for a fact when it comes down to Chinese media, they love making characters white, really pale, beyond pale. It's just ridiculous, They just love that. And when it comes to any dark character or anything, they're just not too fun for it. I mean, just look at the backlash that they got for what China got from the whole Black Panther thing of not showing the character itself because it's dark and pretty much it doesn't attract people itself. And listen, that's just Asian media itself. Here in America is different. We value many people in all different colors, especially if you're darker nowadays. But if you go to other countries, they don't value that because of that skin color tone, or they basically value mostly pale people. Listen, from the me living in the Philippines, I always have seen that when the paler, the whiter you are, the more beautiful you are. That's just the standard it is, and it's probably still a thing as well, especially in China, and also Korea, of all their characters just never ever seen person of color at all. But that's just how it is, basically. You can't change the majority of that, crowd, and say whatever you want. Pretty much a lot of them would agree, like, the whiter and paler is more attractive, whatever. Even though attractive comes to many skin colors in all sorts. But man, they could. I saw a Nilu, like, and it's a ginger girl that is supposed to be based in Egyptian lore, not one sense of Egyptian. Now, if you told me if it was from, like, she from Cyprus or maybe from Tunisia or whatever, or any other, Mediterranean area, or, that is pretty much has like people that are a bit more light skinned, then sort of, but the red hair just doesn't really strike me as that. Okay, me judging the characters and not being a fan of Genshin Impact, I can't really say much. But other than that, it seems like they're celebrating 2 years, which is 2 years of Impact has been out there ever since 2020, and also Hoyoverse is collabing with a company called UFO table. I think that's how you call it. I don't know. UFA table. UFO. I don't know. I don't know what kind of weird name is this. Okay, to me it looks like a UFO table. But they collab with an animation company to make a concept trailer for an upcoming anime soon for Genshin Impact. What? And also I saw a couple of stuff, and also there's like a Genshin TSG which looks cool. Might be in mobile, of course. But yeah, it just seems like the Genshin fans are just being fed, and I'm over here looking at it like, what? What? And all I can do is judge and pretty much just talk about my thoughts. They always make the coolest trailers, and also the most beautiful orchestral music that they set up, especially this one that is heavily inspired by Indian or descendants music, with its instruments and also its drums, its flutes and stuff like that. And it sounds beautiful, it looks beautiful. And also, like, I just wish I was caught up in the Genshin Impact if they only freaking put it on Switch, for crying out loud. Anyways, moving on, let's get into like the whole PlayStation versus Nintendo. And yeah, people may say like, oh, PlayStation 1, they definitely win this. But Nintendo got some games. And listen, I'm the type of person to say like, yes, you got me. You got me. Yes, I'm a farm simp. I'm kidding. I'm actually into the farming games, especially Harvestella. But man, they got a lot of backlash for, well, actually not backlash. They just got a lot of clowning. Nintendo got a lot of clowning, the direct specifically for just the amount of farm games that they have, which is I think 3 or 4, somewhere about around that number. But man, what is speaking of clowning, I just got a clown on the freaking blue and red hair that this character has in Fire Emblem Engage. And the game looks good. I'm not much a fan of Fire Emblem. Look, I heard a little bit here and there about the 3 houses, but that's all you got from me, let me tell you. And man, this character, what is up with like the color, the hair colors? Like, what in the fruit roll-ups is happening? Like, I just gotta roast his hair. I just got it. Okay, I just gotta. But of course, the biggest announcement is The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, which is basically the biggest one that they have there. And yeah, it just seems like there's also a bunch of other games, but Zelda seems to be the biggest one. And Tears of the Kingdom, a lot of people has been back and forth about this whole title name. To me, it looks cool. To me, the name fits perfect, at least to me. But Fatal Frame, Mask of the Lunar Eclipse, which is a horror game, very Silent Hill. I don't know if it's like, emulator in any sense that they have installed there from other, games, or if it's a old school game that happens to be a remake. Xenoblade Chronicles, of course, is there. Why not? New hero expansion. A lot of people are not too fond of Xenoblades. I don't know why. I kind of wish I was into that kind of series. SpongeBob's Cosmic Shake. Not. Let me tell you, I'm not a SpongeBob fan. Okay, I had to be forced to actually watch SpongeBob during my childhood because that's basically 24/7 in Nickelodeon. Okay, fitness boxing Fist of the North Star, which is now a fitness game. I don't know how that happened. It's just so funny how they made this a fitness game, but it is kind of somewhat smart and kind of cool. Kind of cool if you were into boxing and also into fitness. You're sweating with the North Star. Tunic is finally on the Switch. Farming Sims, our first one happens to be Stories of Seasons, A Wonderful Life. Life Sim, which basically, there's some mechanic implemented where you get to see your kids grow up and stuff. Like, I'm just like, man, you're about to make this game real, like, and then what's gonna happen to you being the father? Oh man, like, I'm trying to imagine the real kind of like, sort of gameplays that they have, the real mechanics. That's got to be a little too hard at home, all right? But yeah, it looks cool. Story of Seasons. Splatoon 3, I'm not much of a fan of it, but hey, they did something. They're putting some updates, some gameplays. They want you to buy the game, so that's all. That's what's up. Octopath Traveler starts off with this beautiful song, and also you get to play as different classes. For me, I chose Thief. They got different classes, they got the mechanic, they got the what, the accountant, or I forget the others. The only one I can think of is the Thief. The Thief is definitely the one, okay? Man, but yeah, pretty much has a beautiful song to it. I never played the first one, but man, this one looks nice. It's coming out on February 23rd, next year. Fae Farm, another farm simulator, of course. Oh man, there's also this freaking Final Fantasy game that happens to be musical. So it's called the Therithium Phonobar Line. If you're into Final Fantasy songs, I don't know much about it. Mario and Rabbids, Sparks of Hope. I talk about that about the last podcast involving the Ubisoft showcase slash Assassin's Creed. Another farm simulator here called Rune Factory Tree Special in a new series. Online, Nintendo 64. Pretty much this involves any games involving the Nintendo 64 that's going to be played here. But emulators is a thing, so who knows? And you have to pay a certain amount of money to actually get these. But especially for the online subscription. They have Mario Party from 1 to 3. They got Pokemon Stadium 1 to 2. They got freaking 1A snowboarding. They got Excite Bike, and also the biggest one being GoldenEye. They got various Day Life, which is another game here that I did not put a title in. My apologies. I was gonna say bye to my cousins real quick. They're kind of visiting here. I didn't know they were here, but I said goodbye to them. So yeah, pretty much that's why I had to cut through. I don't know if you know this, but yeah. Anyways, back to what was the game I was talking about? Oh yeah, LB, the game that is specifically known by PewDiePie, which he did a gameplay of. There's also another. I don't know if it's another farm simulator. I just get that feeling it's sort of a Genshin-ish game, that's for sure. It's called Altier Riza Tree. Yeah, okay, nailed it. It looks cool. The title's too long, so pretty much I was just giving you the short name of it, but it really does remind me of Genshin in some ways. Also Super Nintendo World. It's a resort, basically, their own theme park, and it's gonna be coming to LA. So who knows? There might be a chance I might be going there, since LA's a 5-hour drive from here. I guarantee I might not go there. But if I have to fly there, that I guess that's easier. If I ever visit LA to visit my cousins, then and also if Nintendo World is opening, then hey, there might be a chance you might see a vlog from your boy. But that's not gonna be later in the future, that's for sure. We got Pikmin Bloom, which is Pikmin Go, if I call it. Pretty much it's literally by Niantic, the creators of Pokemon Go, if anyone knows that game, an AR game. And pretty much, yeah, it just seems like this, Pikmin Go, I haven't heard anything from it, or any AR games in that matter. But yeah, and also there's a Pikmin 4 coming out. I didn't grow up with Pikmin, so I don't really know that at all. Maybe I can start play Pikmin in my GameCube emulator, but it just looks nice. Sure. Harvestella, the game that is pretty much the one I've been looking forward to compared to these other games. Yes, compared to Bayonetta 3, compared to GoldenEye, Sifu looks cool. And Rain Code from the creators of Danganronpa, that looks nice. But man, Harvestella, my favorite farm game right here. Okay, listen, when it comes to games that is very reminiscent to Stardew Valley, mix that with some RPG elements. Oh my gosh, Harvestella is that game. Okay, I just look at it, I'm like, I'm definitely gonna be. I'm gonna play this game. I'm gonna play this game. This looks nice. I'm gonna be honest. But also, yeah, Sifu is coming to Switch, and also Gradient Silvergun. Pretty much the old school Silvergun. That this is kind of like a series from the Genesis, the Sega Genesis. If anyone's old enough to know what that is. But yeah, Gradient Silvergun looks man, the remake of it looks good, and I just start playing it. Pretty much. What is it, yesterday? I was playing the emulator for it, and I'm like, oh yeah, man, I remember this. This is a classic. Now, next is Tales of Symphonia. That looks nice. Pretty much I don't know much about it. I don't even know what number. I think there's a bunch of Tales of Symphonia games. But yeah, and also last but not least, Legend of Zelda Tears of Kingdom. And also a new Kirby game. I think I skipped a bunch of games here that I forgot to really talk about. But yeah, there was another Kirby game. I don't know what it is, I forget. But yeah, Not a Kirby game. Next is the state of play. We're just gonna go into this real quickly because why not? Tekken 8. Immediately when I first thought of Tekken 8, and Tekken, listen, I love Tekken. Pretty much Street Fighter is the win for me most of the time for my fighting game of choosing. It used to be Smash, but then I was like, nah. It's just that the freaking mechanic of Smash, Metaverse, no, Multiverse, and also Brawlhalla. I'm not into that fighting game anymore. Okay, I'm into like the face on face and stuff like that. Like two characters in each side, the right and the left, and that's what I'm into. And pretty much Tekken 8. It looks cool. I just am starting to get into the Tekken series because of I played the old school Tekken game on the PSP, and man, that brings back memories. And also, I just love Lily. Lily slays all day. Okay, and also as well as Eddie Gardo. You can. Okay, I just gotta say Eddie Gardo. And also, I heard this character. There was a fighting character for Tekken that is, from what I heard. Okay, from what I heard from the Kind of Funny podcast specifically, I gotta call them out. I'm kidding. I'm just a fan of them. But they said there's a girl that is a breakdancer inside Tekken. I'm just like, okay, just tell me who it is. And people may think Eddie Gardo is because he does the freaking 1992 flares and whatever. But as a fellow b-boy myself, I just gotta know who is the breakdancer. Okay. And let me tell you, they say it's Lucky Chloe, and this Lucky, look, it's not a breakdancer. Even though she does some moves, she did a little top rock here and there. Like, she just strikes me as a freaking J-pop star. Okay, stop playing. Like, okay, like, come on. Like a breakdancer, come on. Like, it doesn't really strike me much. Yeah, she does some moves definitely related to breaking as well, and sort of has that essence, but doesn't. Okay. If you want to talk about a fighting character that's definitely heavily in breakdancing, usually it will be like, Christy Monte, and also Eddie Gardo is the closest, to be honest. But also for the new Street Fighter coming out, I saw this one character freaking did a 1990 or Air Flare or whatever. And I'm just like, okay, that's definitely a breakdance. Okay. They just have to implement some sort of breakdance in with any game since it's beginning to be big because of the Olympics, Go to my second channel if you want to know about breakdance content, okay, by your boy. But other than that, there's also Star Wars VR, which, I'm not crazy about. What I am interested of when it comes to VR games is this new D&D game, which is Demio. And it kind of looks nice. It's freaking Dungeons and Dragons related from the looks of it. But it seems cooler than the freaking Star Wars game due to the fact that I didn't grow up much of Star Wars. I can't be a fan of everything, okay? Now, if it was a One Piece VR, talk to your boy, okay? I'm interested in that. And there's also this game called Like a Dragon Ishin. I'm also very aware that there's also a bunch of Japanese games that look very cool. But this one, very Yakuza. Very, very Yakuza. Okay? Ishin looks nice. Hogwarts Legacy, this game just looks more beautiful and beautiful at the time. Hopefully it doesn't, get any backlash of it, without the, stuff that it's sort of like from what I heard when it comes down to like, microtransactions and, woke politics and all that. But Hogwarts Legacy. I mean, it just, for anyone into Harry Potter. And there's times where I'm just looking at any Harry Potter game, especially that one on mobile, where I'm just like, this looks nice. This looks nice. This looks very interesting. So I might be interested in this. Who knows? I'm kind of am interested in fantasy in general. But Hogwarts Legacy, I don't know. It could be something. It could be something because the game and the trailers look beautiful. I'm just really I'm very curious of what it looks like. Pacific Drive, which kind of reminds me of Infamous 2, maybe because it's sort of like set in like the west northern area of America, which is basically Portland. Maybe San Francisco could be in this one. I don't know, or Seattle. It does remind me of Seattle. Maybe that's why it reminds me of. It reminds me of like Life is Strange and also Infamous 2 because it does give me that like northwestern vibe itself from the woods. Even though it's like they don't really show that at all. They don't show any cities or any characters. It's a drive and pretty much you just got into a car crash and then something happened and sort of maybe it sort of reminded me of Oxenfree in a sense. So, now I think about it. And also next PlayStation, yep, they did it, ladies and gentlemen, they did it. NFTs. I knew it. PlayStation stars. NFTs. This madness needs to stop. NFTs is dead. we need a war here. We need to call the authorities. No, but seriously, PlayStation, are you okay? You just busting out NFTs now? I'm kidding. Okay, PlayStation stars. I don't know what that is. It's awards for your freaking, like, you get awards. That's all I heard. I don't know. I I was like, is it NFTs or not? The lady was not explaining much of it, and I just can't help but like notice like just how unbelievably, like from the accent of this man, it just sounds like the most whitest accent from this Asian lady. From what I gathered, okay, man. But anyways, yeah, NFT PlayStation stars. Um, Actually, just PlayStation stars. I don't know why I put NFTs in there. That's why I put in this note. Yeah, it's PlayStation stars, but it's not NFTs, or is it? Some people are like, left and right about it. It could be a new version of it. Who knows? But I swear they might say infungible, and that's when you get them. NFTs, boom, gotcha. No, but seriously, yeah, PlayStation stars. I'm kind of curious to hear more about this, and yeah, I don't know. It's the dual out. God, I just freaking had a stroke there. I'm sorry. Duality is another game. I think it's from a Japanese creator or Korean creator, I believe. Also, they have I just gotta steer away from that one. I forget what it is. I can't even say the name to save my life. So, skip. Stellar Blade. Now, this is a game where I was definitely kind of curious more about, because Stellar Blade is definitely this game where it's kind of like involving aliens. It's a Korean-based game where it's like set in a futuristic universe, and it's kind of like the more coolest looking, very futuristic of all the games that I've seen, pretty much. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Stellar Blade and what it is. Definitely see what that, especially seeing the gun again. Oh man, we're gonna see highlights from the gun, that big gun that she uses. That's gonna look cool, and also the story and whatever it is. I give it to you. Stellar Blade. I already said Stellar Blade. Sorry. Let me move on to the next one. Man, almost the end of the podcast. I can never do a clean ending of any podcast I freaking do. Okay, I swear. I try sometimes, but it just doesn't work into my favor because of how much I want to rush and actually finish it. Rise of the Ronin, which is another Japanese game. Pretty much. I always get like this feeling when I saw this game. I was like, man, this is sort of giving me Ghost of Tsushima vibes. Even Ghost of Tsushima is another game where it's just like, it's people say it's Assassin's Creed, but based in Japan. Even though Assassin's Creed, what was it? Codename something. Ubisoft made Assassin's Creed, but it's now based in Fudo, Japan, even though that's already done. Like, come on. And now there's sort of like another one coming in the house. Is that what's happening? I don't know. Rise of Ronin, I'm kind of curious to see what that's about. And last but not least, you saw it, okay? I don't even have to say it. It's pretty much in the title and everything. It's on the thumbnail. God of War Ragnarok. I'm so looking forward to God of War and Ragnarok. I'm just kind of curious with everybody, with the amount of like, especially when it comes down to playing the game. I really wish that the freaking PS5 didn't raise their freaking prices. Like, come on. The moment that I was like, really, just really, like, the option of getting a PS5 is gonna be zilch, nada, okay? Because I do want a PS5, but man, and also they're throwing out God of War. That's gonna be a full on sale there, okay? That's gonna be like, Sony's gonna be dripping with the amount of cash they're gonna get for the PS5, increase, and then you got God of War Ragnarok. I guarantee you this game is gonna do numbers, especially how beautiful it looks and how it really continues the story much, the lore, and also what they give and for this trailer and everything, the different characters, the monsters that you battle, and also the relationship between Kronos and also his son, and also the returning characters, especially you're seeing Thor in here, big thick Thor. But yeah, it just seems like, is it ever going to be easier to ever get like, a God of War Ragnarok? Is it going to be morally impossible now? Are they going to keep raising the prices or something? I'm always kind of curious about those things. Like, this is definitely a game that might set the field for what PlayStation will carry. But I'm just also curious of like what the game is and also seeing much of it. But, I think I said this before, knowing that I really do want to implement myself to playing games instead of freaking watching them. I'm tired of watching Let's Plays. I don't follow Let's Plays much anymore. But when it comes down to gaming in general, especially for me in this current time, I really do want to experience them. And God of War Ragnarok is a game where I kind of do want to experience. I did watch the gameplays all the way up to the end from the last God of War, but for this one, I do actually. It's just sad. I don't know. It's really sad. But I'm looking forward to God of War Ragnarok, and Harvestella. I think those are two games that I'm mainly looking forward to, if I gotta be honest. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Hope you subscribe, like, comment, all that jazz. I'll see you when I see ya, and yeah, I guess that's it. I don't know what else. Maybe I can actually dabble in on stuff that I do want to actually, sort of like throw in for some extra read all about it, Anyway, but yeah, pretty much. I believe that when it comes down to different games that I'm into, yeah, it's usually those two. But also, like, something else in gaming news related. I just want to put this just a small tidbit here. G4 TV, if anybody remembers them, okay, I heard they're being laid off, and that's been the usual thing nowadays when it comes down to certain jobs and whatever, is that there's certain jobs out there that's just being laid off because of the, especially HBO with its whole cartoon, that situation. Yeah, full on layoffs with all the creators that they have. They lost their jobs, they lost their, imagination for the animation to make, especially what happened for Infinity Train. So you're seeing the same thing with G4 TV. But guess what? Who didn't lose their job? Freaking Frosk. Okay, the one that started the whole revolution, SJW revolution in this rant that she highlighted that pretty much almost everybody was talking about. And they're saying that, she was the reason that, the whole job's, reason why there was a layoff in general, and she didn't lose it. Like, that's just sad. From what I heard, there could be some facts here and there I could gather, but I'm too lazy. From what I heard in the news, they say that it's her fault. So other than that, yeah, that's just stuff that, listen, I think I said enough. I probably should stop. Look, listen, hope you subscribe, like, comment, all that jazz. Please don't cancel me. I think there's enough material here to cancel me, that's for sure, okay? Oh, God, Vince is it just... Look, I'm just showing you my opinions on what other people say. I got nothing to do. The same thing with the boyfriends things. I just read boyfriends. I'm not a freaking, simp or fan or whatever. No, I'm a fan of the genre of what it builds and everything, and I kind of do love boyfriends in a sense, but it's like, come on, I just read it because you guys asked for it, because it's gonna help me get out the streets and also pay the bills. What do you want? Listen, we gotta be honest with ourselves. Why do we want to be famous? To buy, our parents a house, to actually, be well off out there. That's what we're trying to do. That's what we have to do. Capitalism is, evil sometimes, but a lot of times it kind of is the only way to survive as an adult in 2022. I'm gonna be honest, okay? And listen, there's more honesty because boyfriends really carried, build this community that I have. There's no point of me ever hating on boyfriends or ever criticizing boyfriends all because of somebody's opinions about it or whatever, saying, oh, it's offensive and here and there and oh, this creator. Listen, I don't know anything about the creators. I just read their stuff, okay? Listen, it's like, I buy a cheeseburger from a restaurant and people say, oh, this restaurant's racist and whatever and sexist, and how am I supposed to know that? I'm just hungry. Let me get a burger. I don't know. And other than that, that's just my rant. Man, I'll be double canceled. I'm out of here. Peace. One love.